Hello, I'm Chris Eshe, and my PowerPoint presentation for SATC 420 will be on the Yinking Majestic OPC polymers resin plant and what elements were violated, along with a summary and lesson learned at the end. On the night of April 8th, 2021, a mixture of flammable solvents, vapors, and resin liquid were accidentally released. They ignited and exploded at approximately 12:04 a.m. at the plant. This event caused damage to not only the facility, but also adjacent property to the facility. Along with one employee was killed from chemical inhalation of combusted products and thermal injuries. Also, 8 other employees were taken to area hospitals for injuries suffered from the explosion, such as third-degree burns and bone fractures. One employee even had to have his leg amputated from his injuries. The cause of this accident was that Yinking Majestic installed a new 20-inch manway onto the process vessel approximately 3 months before the incident, but did not do proper testing to make sure the mechanical integrity of the new manway would hold. When the manway was tested, it was only pressure tested up to 4 psi-G, but pressure within the manway was known to build up to psi-G at times. These pressures are far out the usual operating range of at or near atmospheric pressure on which this manway usually operates. The failures on the management part consisted of Yinking Majestic did not give adequate training to its employees on how to recognize and respond to the presence of a flammable solvent cloud, nor the hazards associated with the cloud. Additionally, the facility did not have its employees wear the appropriate PPE when working around these flammable materials. The facility did not require flame-resistant PPE within its area and allowed employees to wear cotton shirts, which resulted in employees suffering from burns. And finally, the facility had inadequate emergency preparedness, such as a lack of an audible alarm call, causing a lack of quick evacuation by the employees. Here we have the 14 OSHA PSM elements, with mechanical integrity, management of change, and emergency planning and response being the main violations that took place at the facility. For mechanical integrity, a new manway was installed onto the Kettle 3, where the vapor leak took place. For management of change, what happened was, when the new manway was installed, it was not pressure tested up to the pressures that the Kettle 3 could sometimes spike up to. An emergency plan's response was that the employees were not given adequate response training on if a vapor cloud forms, or did the company have any adequate alert systems in place to alert the workers of an incident if an incident is occurring. So, a summary and quick lessons learned from this. The facility shall ensure that equipment will be operated safely when operating within operating parameters. The equipment design shall take into consideration mechanical and process risks. The facility shall ensure equipment can safely operate within given parameters. If any alterations are done to the equipment, workmanship shall be evaluated to ensure it is completed in a manner that will conform to operational standards. The facility shall install LEL detectors to trigger automatic shutdowns if gas and vapor clouds form. The worker shall be provided proper PPE to protect against workplace hazards. Specific hazards will now be reflected in the EPA, and workers shall be trained in hazard identification and handling. And also, API shall develop guidelines for low-pressure vessels and hazardous services that do not exceed 1,500 psi. Thank you.